Dude, it has been a week, man.
Right?
Man. So what's new?
Just super busy. Work is keeping me on my toes, but not been feeling the best the last couple of days. But you know what? It is Sunday night. It is podcast night. It's time to revenge the nerd, and I am back in fighting form, my friends. So hey, I'm ready to do this, my brother from another mother.
All right, man. I hear you, dude. Leia's been sick all week, and
Oh,
we didn't know It was weird because, she didn't seem to have the flu, but
okay.
crummy. So COVID tested her and everything, and
Right,
came up
right.
negative.
That's good.
So it's just been like, I don't know, but yeah. So it's been a day.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir. But what a way to wrap up the weekend than hanging out with your buddies, Brad and Brian, the greatest tag team. You remember back in the day, Shelton Benn and Charlie Haas called themselves the world's greatest tag team. I
yeah,
think we may have to find them and go, you know what? We may have to fight them over. You know what? Forget ahead of the table. We have to fight for that world's greatest tag team
and it'll
honor,
be
sir.
it'll be a wrestling match in debate form.
Facts. Facts, sir, because both Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin both like pretzels.
Right,
So
right,
yeah,
yes.
yes, 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 yes.
All
So
right, well, let's hit some music.
let's do it, bro.
Welcome to the Fandemic. This is a Facebook and YouTube live podcast show that celebrates all the things that we feel are awesome in hopes of spreading our fandom to you. After the live show airs, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere you find audio podcasts just a little bit later. In the show, we dive deep into the heart of fandoms and celebrate the things we love. From sci-fi to fantasy, movies to TV shows, comics to video games, we explore the universes that have captured our imaginations and made us lifelong fans. Each week, we'll take you on a journey through the realms of awesomeness. Expect passionate discussion, in-depth analyses, things under the bed, and many, many side quests. So whether you're a die-hard enthusiast or just dipping your toes in the fandom waters, the Fandemic is the place to be. I'm the host, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Buchanan. With me every week, I have the unverified twin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the eyebrows, or eyebrow. The unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples. The unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles. And the unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache. Who are you?
This week, my name is Brian S. Dennis, with the S stands for Eagles. And that's going to become important in a minute. But also, since you mentioned the mustache, I want to give a shout out to my barber, Kelly Madison, our barber, Kelly Madison. I
Yes.
went over there yesterday. He lined me up. Kelly, thank you, thank you, thank you. It takes a lot of work to make this look even halfway good. So appreciate it, my friend. So, Bradley, it is good to be back, my friend.
Yeah, we took a week off last week because of what happened?
There was there was a apparently there was a football game at an Usher concert that Taylor Swift was in attendance. So
Yes. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. All right, Leia.
we have our first visit.
Yep. Want to say hi to Brian?
Hi.
Hi, Princess. How are you?
You want to talk? Obviously, she's feeling better now.
I noticed.
Can you hold this for me?
All right. Well,
So first off, what are you eating?
You
Never mind.
ruined
Looks like
my
ice
line.
cream. Looks like ice cream. Okay.
Have you noticed that I've been eating off of that spoon and I'm sick?
eh.
You ruined my line!
No. There we go.
You ruined my line.
So-
Yes, it's chocolate ice cream, by the way.
All right. So, are you feeling better?
Yes, I am. I was riding on his back today. No, keep holding this. It's
So
cold.
you were riding Beardy.
I know it's ice cream. What did he say?
I said, so you were riding Beardy. I'll bring it out to your dad later. So no worries. No worries.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a fact for me? Do you have something you want to share?
Did you know when they take off a cast, it doesn't actually puncture your skin because it's just vibrating really fast?
Yes, I did know that. But thank you for reminding.
Yeah. He ruined my line.
You're welcome.
Since I'm still sick, I split a line in between the ice cream because my mother informed me. You know, this is what she said, quote unquote. You know, you're putting your germs inside of the ice cream, so nobody else can eat the ice cream now. And I'm like, then I'm going to make a line. So there's a little thing in between the part that doesn't have my germs and the part that does have. You ruined the line even more.
Hey, Princess Leia.
Am I talking too loud?
No, it's that germs are alive, so they move. So it's not like the line would really keep the germs from going to the other side of the container.
No, but see, the thing is, it was like a line that was like, so it went. Move over.
And Leia, this is America.
And then
we don't draw lines; we build walls. That's how we. That's how we.
No, that's what I meant. It was like a line wall. It was like a line right here, and then the ice cream was right here, on both of them. So it's like in order for them to cross past it and just go like, up.
So it's like the ice cream was scissoring.
I tell Brandon bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hold on!
All right, kiddo. We'll see you later.
Now.
All right. So
stay healthy.
Oh, stay healthy. Okay.
So thank you. Bye-bye. So a couple things. A couple things from our conversation, Brad. So she mentioned that she was riding on your backs. I said, so you're riding Beardy. She didn't catch that at all. Then towards the tail end of that, she was doing this. So I'm like, are you? You're saying the ice cream was scissoring? She didn't catch that. She dropped that's what she said regarding your wife, which I didn't have the heart to break that down. And then finally, when she talked about having the line in the ice cream container, I felt the need to remind her germs are alive. So that means germs move. So just because there's a line in the ice cream container, it doesn't necessarily mean that the germs wouldn't just migrate from one side of the container to the other. So
facts.
So the line is completely ineffective at this point.
Yeah.
So there is that, my friend. So
awesome.
As always, it's great to have Princess Leia join us.
Yes. And where were we?
At this point, I'm not exactly sure. Other than why don't we just start off by talking about what we're going to talk? Oh, we were talking about best of the week. We've not gotten to those yet. So if you don't mind, I'll start off because mine's going to be pretty short and sweet. Didn't get a chance to go in the movie. I do still want to check out Madam Web, which just didn't get a chance to really get back to you until I wasn't feeling the greatest. So then I decided, you know what? Since our last week, and we had again by the way, we obviously didn't record last week because of the actual Super Bowl. So congratulations to both the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Hard fought game, but again, the Chiefs pulled it out. We record in the state of Iowa, so there's some state of Iowa connections on the side of the 49ers. Yeah. Close, but no cigar. Then the other piece of this was, as far as since I really get a chance to get to see the movies, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna start watching the new season of Halo. And Brad, I want to get your opinion, but I had a hard time getting into it. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna to pick a show that I know I love to give myself a little oomph for this week. Ashley, and it's gonna be my show of the week. I revisited Stranger Things. So I got through the first 3 seasons of Stranger Things, and it holds up even better. Watch because you know some of the things that have come up, and I love kind of the leaps that every season makes. So I'll give it a big fat Demogorgon faceless 5 beardies or whatever we use for our top score. But again, love me some Stranger Things,
Nice.
and hopefully season 5 will be here before the kids all hit their. Well, come already 19, so hopefully season 5 will be before they all hitting their 20s. So
Yeah, nice. So as far as I go, my TV shows, there's a new show with Justin Hartley called Tracker.
yeah, after the Super Bowl, I did not watch it. How was it?
I'm interested to see where it goes.
Okay.
I did. I will say I got a Fandemically review for it that I'm going to be releasing this next week. On it. Some of it was good. I like the story, but some of it just wasn't believable.
Okay.
And to me, he's got these. His handlers is this older lesbian couple, and they just don't fit.
Okay.
I can't get over it. It's just, I don't know what it is about them. I don't buy them as a lesbian couple.
Okay.
It's just like, okay, I don't buy it. You're trying way too hard here.
All right.
Justin Hartley, his acting is great. There was a couple of issues in the first episode where like he gets shot and then all of a sudden like it's like barely there and not bleeding and it's TV, whatever.
Are you saying that it may have some plot holes?
Yes, I am. But Brian, are you watching Traitors?
I need to catch up. I have seen a little bit of, but I know you love it, and I love it some Alan Cumming, so I got to get into it.
Yes. So as far as my game, I bought Uno No Mercy today.
Okay, and this is a board. I mean, this is an actual Uno game.
Yeah, it's a new Uno game. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna bring it in for my Uno tournament next time, I think. But I mean, it is awesome. Like you have reverse draw fours. So instead of the next person drawing four, it's the person behind you.
Yes.
Right. Love you draw tens.
You say draw tens?
Draw tens. You have draw sixes. You have colored draw fours. Instead of the draw two, you have a draw four.
Love it.
It is amazing. It's so good.
And it is called Uno No Mercy?
Yeah, Uno No Mercy, yep. Okay. And then I did buy the Helldivers 2 game today.
Okay.
And I got a chance to play just a little bit. Not sure where I'm at on that one yet. I want to give it a couple more hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah, now as far as the movie goes, oh man, so
by the way, I think I know where you're going with this. Can you even say it's your movie of the week if you didn't enjoy it? Just throwing it out there.
The only way I made it work is that that's the only movie I watched. But
yeah.
But Madam Web, I want to talk about it for a second. It is not a good movie. I did just rewatch Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah,
and that movie is great.
Yeah, very good, very good movie.
But Madam Web, man, oh gosh, there's so many issues there. I know what they were trying to do, and I was going to bring this by you. You and I are going to fix this movie. We're going to make this an episode. We'll go watch it here again in the next week.
Yeah.
And we'll do a full episode fixing Madam Web because I do have an idea to fix it.
Is it? If I can ask you a question, is it in the Sonyverse with Morbius and Venom, or where does Madam Web in an expanded universe? Where does Madam Web live?
So it is somewhere in the Sonyverse. I don't know where. There's a couple of interesting things mixed in with all the crap.
Okay.
In Madam Web. So do you want me to spoil it for you a little bit?
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's throw up a banner here for. All right. So here's a couple things I like.
I didn't have great hope for it. I was thinking Dakota Fanning. How bad could it be? I think I'm about to find out. How bad can it be?
It's bad. I mean, like, it's bad.
To Dakota Johnson, not Dakota Fanning. Dakota Fanning might have made it better, but all right.
So starts off in Peru, and pregnant mom gets killed by the bad guy of the movie.
Yep.
And and these mysterious spider people save her. Or don't save her, but they save the baby. And then we come to find out later the reason why she was down there was to save the baby's life. Apparently, you get no context other than that.
Okay.
Then you fast forward to 30 years later, so 2003, and apparently everybody listens to 90s music in 2003 in New York, and then you have
because there's not a city on the planet that would have not, but we both love us some 90s music.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of all the cities that would have a lack of new music availability, it would be New York City.
Yes, 100%. You have paramedics that don't like people.
Well, that's probably not that far fetched. All right.
And you have paramedics that don't know what to do when a woman's water breaks.
Okay.
You have a villain who they went back and re-recorded all the dialogue, and it didn't match up. It was like 1970s kung fu movie bad. They didn't do anything special when Cassandra Webb was seeing the future, right? It just felt like a bad cut. It just felt like a recut of doing the scene over again, you know, and which I was looking for something like that. Now Dakota Johnson tries. The other girls try, and they do the best that they can. Like the best part of the movie was the Fantastic Four Spider Girls. However, we only get like 90 seconds of them in costume. They don't show how they get the powers. They don't do anything like that. It's a freaking mess. It really, really is.
Are there any allusions to? Because again, now, and this is all, Spider-Man is one of those very unique ones that, you know, now that we've got Spider-Man back in the MCU proper now, we saw this with Venom, we saw this with Morbius, where if you know anything about Spider-Man or just get how, especially with Venom and with Madam Web, you know, there's obviously a Spider-Man world connection, but in both Morbius and in Venom, at least this version of Venom, we don't see really that much mention of anything to do with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, that sort of stuff. Madam Web does not have spider-related powers, so I'm curious, is there any, but she's a big part of the Spider-Man universe. Do they bring anything regarding Spider-Man into the movie?
Yes. So it's, and this is actually probably the most interesting part of the movie, which I feel like there is something there, and they should have built upon it. Her paramedic partner's name is Ben. And they go to
Riley, Ben Parker. Did they give him a last name?
At the end, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Then,
I will let that sit. Okay.
Right. And then they go to his sister-in-laws, or not sister-in-laws. He goes to their sister's baby shower. No, and her name is Mary, and she's married to Richard.
We're getting there. Okay.
And Mary is played by Emma Roberts, which I'm sure she probably wants to forget this. This is the person who's, when the water breaks, Uncle Ben doesn't know how to deal with that.
However, he's a paramedic. Okay.
However, he's a paramedic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which this was a really interesting take, because you never, at least I don't remember anything ever really flushing out the story of Ben Parker. It's a kind of an interesting one for that. Yeah. I believe. This was the most interesting part, and it was Adam Scott. Adam Scott was Ben Parker.
Okay.
So
all right.
So that was interesting. And then the very, very end of the movie, when Madam Web became Madam Web, we should have had a lot more of that. But we'll get into that when we fix.
All right.
Madam Web.
Fix this. All right. Okay, sir. So on our scale, where are you giving it? From a scale of 1 to 5?
Oh no, 1 out of 5, a 100%. You shall not pass.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Madam Web is horrible. It is not a good movie.
Maybe in the sequel, Madam Web will use her webs to tie up her part. I'm sorry, we're going down another path here. All right,
that is a different Madam Web movie,
and a different Dakota Johnson movie, quite a bit. Yes. you know, 50 Shades of Webs. We'll
right.
There.
I mean, you got to see the euphoria of the web.
I mean, if you're gonna bring back, never mind. We're gonna stop. I gotta say, if you're gonna bring in.
Oh, and I gotta throw this out to you. Okay, so in Sony, when you're making these Sony movies,
yeah.
So there was 4 credited writers for this movie.
Too many.
2 of them. Do you know what they're famous for?
What?
Morbius. Writing Morbius. Gods of Egypt. And Power Rangers 2017.
Power
Yeah, not the greatest of resumes.
Rangers 2017 might be the best of those three.
Right?
Like, now there's something to be said for
Gods of Egypt.
consistency of writing, but
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the guys you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
awesome.
know I don't know which one was cycling the drain worse, the Sonyverse or the original DCEU. But James Gunn, you may have more work for you coming up. All right. Okay, sir. Well, let's get into our podcast proper, my friend.
Yes, let's do that. All right. So, Brian, actually, before we do that, let's do a little wrestling recap.
All right, we can do that. This is going to be short and sweet, so we're probably going to do these most weeks. This is we're heading into WrestleMania season, which Brad and I are both looking forward to. So again, if you're not a wrestling fan, this is a great time to learn a bit about it. So we've got WrestleMania scheduled to start off here in, I want to say it's in April. So just a couple quick updates, and I really have a couple things for you, Brad. So number one, really only two things are part of the update. I want to get your opinion. Number one is you and I were actually texting a little bit back and forth on this. So WrestleMania is held over 2 nights.
Yes.
And the WWE's had to kind of pivot their plans a little bit due to one of the main event wrestlers they were definitely going to feature this year having a legitimate arm injury. CM Punk had to have surgery on his triceps. As a result of that, the match he was originally scheduled to be in, well, we hadn't gotten that far, but all signs pointed to he was going to be challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. Because of that injury, we've had a lot of back and forth how to influence the rest of the card. So right now, it is set that Seth freaking Rollins, or Mr. Lynch, as I like to call him, he will be facing the winner of the Elimination Chamber. So we have our 6 competitors. So my question to you, Bradley, is really twofold regarding the Elimination Chamber. That will be in Perth, Australia. That I believe will be, if you watch it live here in Iowa, will start at 4 a.m. So I will probably be watching the recorded version of it. But with that being said, the competitors are Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, all of which have been previous world champions, joined by LA Knight, and your boy Logan Paul. So number one of those 6 competitors, Orton, Lashley, McIntyre, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, and Logan Paul, which of them do you think will win the Elimination Chamber?
So I'm glad you asked, because LA Knight. I think LA Knight is
LA Knight.
I'm going to go LA Knight. Is LA Knight or Randy Orton is going to be who I think. I don't think they're going to give it to McIntyre. And especially because where Cody is going, he's going to bring that championship to Raw. So I think that the World Championship is going to go to SmackDown. I'm going to think it's going to... I'm LA Knight is my choice number 1. Randy Orton is number 2. LA Knight is too big right now for him not to get a good title at WrestleMania.
I like that, actually. So my thought was it would be Randy Orton. Orton and Rollins have wrestled at WrestleMania previously. In fact, it was the night that Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank for his first world title. And I have always had great chemistry in the ring, and Orton being the biggest name. Of the competitors in here, Orton probably is the biggest name in the match. And you could definitely give him his 15th championship if he was I think whoever faces Rollins is winning. And I was thinking you're going to set up LA Knight probably for like an Intercontinental title match with Logan Paul. I could see maybe there being something to start off with them. But switching it and sending LA Knight over to challenge that, and you get either switching Knight and Cody. My thought would be Cody would actually go to SmackDown and LA Knight would go to Raw, but they can also take the titles. But that could be a really solid main event because those two are your top two baby faces, 2 very different baby faces. Cody more traditional, all the kids love him. LA Knight kind of the smack talk and definitely harkens back to Stone Cold and the person I'm about to mention next, The Rock. So I like that. My other question is this, or other feedback to get your comments on is, because of the pivoting, we had the whole deal of do we have The Rock come in and challenge for the SmackDown title, Universal title held by his legitimate cousin in Roman Reigns. They were totally going that way, and the fans, you and I talked about on the podcast 2 weeks ago, my displeasure with The Rock. They were going, I get why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was not well received, so they pivoted yet again and had The Rock turn heel and join the Bloodline. So, what are your thoughts? I know a bit because you texted me a little bit on this,
Yeah.
but how do you feel about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson fully joining the Bloodline?
So I've had some time to like actually let it sink in, let it soak in. I think it's smart, but it also is. This is so out of character for The Rock.
Yeah, this
He's
is who
not
he was in the
known to
early
be.
'90s. Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah,
is way back Rock. Yeah,
right. He's not known to be second heel. I mean, like,
second banana to anybody. Yeah,
right. He's not. I mean, I could have seen it better if pretty much if Roman Reigns gave him the seat, the head of the table
sure.
when he joined. But
Yeah.
the fact that The Rock didn't demand to be head of the table
Sure.
to go into the bloodline, I think is stupid. And it doesn't make any sense at all.
So do we get this? I was having very similar thoughts. So this goes back to when The Rock first became The Rock, and he had come back from injury and joined the Nation of Domination, where he was really second fiddle to Farouk, aka Ron Simmons. Do you
Yes.
think this is a way? Because Roman Reigns at this point, by the time WrestleMania is over and we get into the summer, Roman Reigns will have been a full legitimate heel for 4 years or really close to 4 years. That's a long run.
Yeah.
Do they do this as a way of turning Roman Reigns babyface at some point? So The Rock becomes because you even saw a little bit. He was kind of talking over Roman a little bit. Do you build on that and basically The Rock saying, especially again, we're predicting Roman loses, and maybe Roman then has a rematch at probably not at Backlash. Doesn't seem like it's a big enough tier, but maybe at SummerSlam. And we start to see, because I still think the big payoff they're running for is going to be Rock versus Roman. Probably originally would have been Roman as a heel, Rock as a babyface, but they could switch those roles and maybe have a heel Rock use a turn Roman babyface. But I do think we're still going to get Roman versus Rock, but maybe the only thing you can do with that. Also, I think we're going to see a bit of this because I don't know if I've seen a couple of the stories, but given all the ickiness with Vince McMahon and now some of that's apparently shining on Stephanie McMahon a little bit, it's potential that TKO, which is the company that runs both the WWE and the UFC, and The Rock is on their board. There are thoughts that The Rock may at some point become the CEO or the head of World Wrestling Entertainment. He already has, again, both Nia Jackson getting a big push. His daughter's the general manager on NXT, all those things. So,
and very unfair, being very, very unfairly treated.
Yes.
Ugliness.
Yes.
So much ugliness.
Do we get
people
maybe
do better?
Yes, people do better. But do we get maybe an updated version of the Vince McMahon character or the McMahon family, but using a Rock's family as they already established the bloodline kind of as that heel group? So
I think that'd be cool. I really do. I mean, you can't keep The Rock a villain he's too big. He's
too
just
big,
too
and
big
people,
to be a
and
villain,
people,
really. I mean,
and people want to cheer him.
Yeah, in just hearing like the things that I know it's just I know it's for show,
Sure.
but
Sure.
it's just like that's The Rock.
I mean, at this point, no one wants to boo The Rock. No one wants to boo Stone Cold. No one wants to boo Ric Flair. I mean, there's now, and so again, I got to give them. Yeah, we like them. They're icons, especially for The Rock and Stone Cold. For us, I mean, Flair and Hogan, a lot of those guys, they were already who they were, but we got to see The Rock and Stone Cold become who they are. The fans now don't want to boo that; they're booing it because that's just the dynamic, and it shows how much they love Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So, but we'll probably do these short recaps.
Do you think? Actually, a quick question for you.
No,
do you
please.
think Stone? Okay, this would be really cool.
Sure.
All right, The Rock interrupts the match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin
Thank you,
comes
sir.
out, Stone Colds everybody,
Yep.
and helps Cody get the win.
I think that makes person a lot of levels. So you heard Seth Rollins in his promo on Raw talking about how Cody can't do this alone. The reason he lost last year
is it Moxley a free agent now?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I get the feeling he
Mhm.
probably wouldn't be coming back with the most open arms. John Moxley's an interesting fellow.
Yeah.
And the WWE doesn't do a lot of blood, so that's probably not his steal. But it would make sense when Rollins was talking about it. So Rollins is going to wrestle the main event of night one.
Mhm.
He's legitimately hurt with the knee. Most likely is going to lose. So you probably won't see Seth Rollins after night one. And you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So it would be awesome if, as again, Cody is trying to fight off Roman Reigns. Probably would have had The Rock be in to hold off the bloodline. If you had Austin show up and and stun The Rock, maybe stun Roman Reigns, and then Cody hits. I mean, Austin comes from Texas, has had a lot of his best years in WCW before coming to WWE. You could draw a really easy parallel of Dusty and all those things from Texas, just like Dusty Rose is, all those things. I think that would be great. It's WrestleMania 40. I can't
What
imagine.
if Dustin Rhodes comes in and helps him?
That I could really see as well. And you know, it's WrestleMania 40. So I don't see WrestleMania 40 passing without a Stone Cold sighting. So have it be in the main event, have him drop that stunner. Maybe you have him come out earlier so people know he's there.
Yeah.
Kind of whet the appetite, and then we hit a glass break. We see the stunner. I mean, him and The Rock main event at 3 different WrestleManias. Like set that, kind of close the loop on that, started new, and with the American Nightmare standing tall, the new face of the organization. I would love that.
Do you think that there is a superstar that would come in to fight The Rock at WrestleMania in another match?
This year, no. They're gonna keep. Number one is, I think, the idea of, again, he's the biggest star in Hollywood. He's got all these things, so I get the feeling that him in the ring will be less versus more. And I think, again, also at his age, I think I heard he's 52, 54, somewhere in there.
No.
You're gonna want him having that someone that's gonna be safe, that can do the things that The Rock and bump around for The Rock. So those folks are already in matches, like a Seth Rollins, like a Cody, all those people, and also just have the name recognition. So now, no.
Okay.
But at some point, I think we will get The Rock sort of in some passing the torch matches, probably at some point against Cody. But right now, I love the idea of Stone Cold kind of setting off the main event.
Awesome. All right, man. That was fun. We will keep on giving you the wrestling because Elimination Chamber is next week
in Perth, Australia. Can you imagine that? By the way, just because we love to mention Samuel L. Jackson, we got to mention our girl Rhea Ripley, her home country. Can you imagine the cheers Rhea's going to get in Australia?
She is gonna either be leaving Judgment Day, or Judgment Day is gonna be getting the facelift. She's not a heel.
She isn't.
She is not a heel.
Neither is Damian Priest at this point. I mean, he's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Damian Priest does what happens a lot of the very best heels. That's happened with The Rock, we just mentioned. What happened with Kevin Nash? A lot of those 90s heels. John Cena. They're supposed to be heels. They're supposed to boom, but something about them, their promos, how good they're in the ring, their look, they're just resonant people, and they stop being bad guys. It happens in movies. Darth Vader's supposed to be a villain. Okay, lots of people, probably outside of Yoda, Darth is the most popular character in Star Wars canon.
Yeah,
because they're cool. So Damian Priest has picked up that cool factor. Rhea Ripley has that cool factor. Neither one of them are heels. Yeah. You can say that. I mean, Dominic gets booed out of the building, as he should, and I mean as a positive.
Right.
JD, Finn, both Rhea and Damian Priest are really beyond the Judgment Day.
R-Truth,
I got some issue for R-Truth for you a little later on.
All right.
But yeah. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you saw SmackDown. He stole SmackDown.
Dude,
he's absolutely still SmackDown. In Raw, wherever he shows up, he absolutely. Have you seen this one? Then I'll hush on it. But this showed up in my logarithm. So you saw I think it was WrestleMania 27. It was Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, and Ric Flair's retirement, at least WWE retirement match.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if you ever seen this, but at the end of the match, Shawn Michaels preparing for the super kick of Sweet Chin music. He tells Ric Flair, "I'm sorry, I love you," and he kicks Flair and gets the win. Right? I have forgotten this happened, but there was a tag match in which the Miz is like in a full Nelson by Damian Priest, and Truth is getting ready to like punch the Miz, and he totally does the Shawn Michaels thing. Goes, "Miz, I'm sorry. And I love you, but he misses the punch of his priest by mistake. But it's that he yells it so loud that that the mics from the cameraman pick up what he says.
Yeah.
Like when Sean does it, you can read his lips. But Truth made it sure to say it so loud you could hear him through the mics around the ring, and it was just that it was fantastic, and it blew. Yeah, so
he's my favorite wrestler right now.
There's so many.
This
is
so many reasons. R-Truth has ever been.
This is the very best R-Truth has ever been.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of things Truth has done in the past that I was like, I don't know, but this right now, and this is catching exactly kind of who and what he needs to be. So
yeah,
100%. Loving R-Truth,
and they're not making him stupid. They're making him smart.
Friday actually showed that he kind of picked up on okay, and obviously we're moving towards, barring something changes. We're gonna get R-Truth and Miz, the Awesome Truth, taking on Damian Priest and Finn Balor for the tag belts, which I'm so excited for that. So excited for that match.
Yes, but my ultimate, I want a DP Truth. I have to have this tag team match. I have to have them
again. If something happens where Priest breaks away, I can see that.
It will happen. It has to happen. All right, we've talked about this long enough, man.
Right,
let's get talking about the topic of the day. Brian, would you like to introduce our topic of the day?
Yes. So tonight, Bradley and I are going to talk about some of the favorite movies, or at least I think some of our favorite movies. But as movie fans, as fans of sci-fi fans, or just things that are overall entertaining, while this podcast always wants to, and our goal is to keep things positive, we also know sometimes there's some plot holes. So we're going to do, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, we're going to fill some holes and talk about the plot holes in some movies that we really, really enjoy. So that's what we're going to do tonight.
Awesome. Do you want to take turns, or do you want to go full go?
You know what? Why don't we? I'll give you a few of mine, and then we can kind of go back and forth. And as always, I'm going to keep track, see if we have any similar ones. So I have I got 10 as a whole, 10. But the first 5 are just ones that I'm just gonna cover kind of quickly. But I get my major ones, but they're from some of my absolute favorite movies. All right.
Nice.
So, in fact, let's have a little fun here. See if you can maybe pick out what one of the plot holes may be. So, Bradley, one of mine is gonna be The Lion King, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. So, what is a plot hole in The Lion King?
I'll cross that one off of my list too. That would be and you brought this up to me.
All right.
So if you know anything about lions, and there's only one.
There's one male lion. Yeah.
One lioness that gives birth to the pride.
Yes.
Yeah, which means there's some
if you've
family
seen
issues.
Yes, if you've seen especially the animated first Lion King, you see a scene where all the lions in the pride, and this is factual for how real lion prides work. There's one male lion surrounded by sometimes over a dozen lionesses. So when you see the movie, there's only 2 adult male lions in the entire cast when the movie starts. There is Scar and there's Mufasa. Yeah. So that means that Nala is either Simba's cousin or his sister. But the internet was our friend, my friend. So I just sent you a text and I want you to take a look at it, that actually solves the mystery of Nala's father. So if you'll take a minute and look at the image I just sent you.
Unknown.
If you find it,
yeah, R-Truth.
The internet has solved it.
R-Truth. Yes, you know what? I think that's right. I think anytime anything is going on, it's just R-Truth.
We would not say anything problematic about African American male fathering a female lion. We're not gonna go that route, internet. But yes, R-Truth. So that answers that. Okay, so this is one that you actually inspired. So a couple weeks ago, you mentioned that you kind of ruined Cinderella by mentioning that if her shoe or slipper fit perfectly, then how on earth does it fall off? I also had a similar thought, though, is if you think about in Cinderella, when the clock strikes and all of Cinderella's clothes turn back to normal,
yeah,
her slipper did not.
Right.
So we have the glass slipper. The movie Titanic was the first movie I saw in Iowa, and I've mentioned this multiple times. Is one of the reasons why I say that her character should have been charged with murder, because of two reasons. Number one, while she says she'll never let go, Leo, she let go. In fact, she pried his cold, dead hand off of her wrist. But secondly, if you look at the size of that door, it could have easily held two people. Yeah. All right. Bradley, Star Wars.
There's a lot of them.
This is the one that actually bothered me when I actually started, when I kind of reinvested in Star Wars, when it came out with episodes 1, 2, and 3. So Darth Vader, or Anakin, who you think, even if you think he's dead, you know the Empire's looking for Luke and Leia. So you have the genius idea of hiding Leia, not knowing that they were twins, hiding Leia with the Organa family. But then you take little Luke. It's kind of like if you go into the Witness Protection Agency, and you take young Luke, and where is the wonderful Obi-Wan or old Ben Kenobi? Where does he think to hide the child of his former apprentice? Where does he hide him, sir?
Why you're going to take that to the place where he grew up?
Including not only the place he grew up, but with his family. Yeah. That worked out well. Worked out well. Okay. And then I'll pause after this and let you throw out some of yours if you would like to.
Right.
But
still,
I'm sorry, please. You had something to share.
But you know, and that also talks about a little bit. There is a Skywalker lineage, so there could be other Skywalkers out there as well.
Yeah.
But I have a couple of I have some more plot holes with Star Wars.
All right. Feel free to share them.
Okay,
go for it.
So Obi-Wan Kenobi obviously had history with R2 and C-3PO, and I get
and these are the droids he was looking for.
Right. The droid's memory can be wiped, but Obi-Wan's wasn't.
Right.
He should have remembered them in A New Hope.
100% should have remembered them.
Especially with, like, I mean, and yes, I get it. They do these things for the story. We get it, but we're just kind of pointing out some things here.
Yeah, including, again, when I always throw up is not only is you watch episodes 4 and 5. Everything about episodes 4 and 5 was the love story between Luke and Leia. Lucas goes, no, I knew they were brother and sister when I was writing the script. Everything about that was to swerve the audience. Then why? I mean, look at even some of the poster art. Leia is her head is nestled close to Luke's other face. Like, okay, come on now. So yeah,
that was a genius idea when they were all sitting around getting drunk one night.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the Game of Thrones, pre-Game of Thrones. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Exactly. All right. So we talked about Cinderella. The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
So Bruce Willis doesn't figure out that he's a ghost till the end of the movie. He wasn't with Haley Joel Osment the entire day.
I've thought about this, so please continue. I've thought about
Right.
This.
So what did he do? Like making calls? Did he not? I mean, like at some point in a day, somebody is going to be like looking at you or acknowledging you or something. Right. Should have figured something was off there.
So this is one that I will argue is not a plot hole. Okay, so I got to give you a little backstory with Sixth Sense. Okay, so I proudly figured out the Sixth Sense twist before the end of the Sixth Sense.
Dude, you just won the episode.
And the reason that I figured it out, because Bruce Willis wears the same clothes in every scene. The only thing that changes is some scenes he's wearing an overcoat. But other than that, the actual like jacket, shirt, it's the same clothes in every scene. So I remember thinking, maybe he's a ghost. Okay, so number one there. But, and I'm going to steal this from Inception, another movie with no plot holes at all. You know how Inception talks about that you don't remember, like if you're dreaming, and they use an Inception, like if you're at a cafe or whatever you're doing, you wake up in the middle of the moment, right? And it doesn't seem weird to you that you don't remember driving to school, work, climbing Mount Everest, wherever you're at, that's just where you're at, right? So let's play out that same logic with Bruce Willis as a ghost. And if you didn't know Bruce Willis as a ghost, the movie's over 20 years old. You should have figured it out by now, okay? But with that being said, if he's actually being sent by some higher power to assist Haley Joel Osment, or as they say in the movie, he doesn't know he's dead, I get the feeling that between the different moments dealing with Haley Joel Osment, he probably doesn't actively have any consciousness. So when he's in that moment meeting with Haley Joel, they have a scene where he's sitting at dinner with his wife. That's where he, like in a dream, awakens mid-moment, and the situation around him fills in the gap. So I totally get that as a plot hole, but even thinking way back, because again, Six is one of my favorite movies, definitely my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie, it's like, that probably would be almost like a ghost. Because think about it, that almost would be how a ghost exists until you're brought about, summoned in some way, shape, or form. You probably don't have active existence. So, but that is a fair plot hole. That's a very, very fair plot hole.
I dig it. Good job. I got one more, and then we'll hand it back to you.
Okay.
Armageddon. I don't want to miss a thing. Oh gosh, we love that song.
Fall asleep. I love any type of love song that has a little bit of incestuousness, because it seems like Steven Tyler singing to his daughter. But we'll move forward.
Right. Okay, so they couldn't teach the astronauts to drill, but the drillers. I don't. But they could teach the drillers to become astronauts, but not the astronauts to become drillers.
They had
that one make sense.
What was it? They had like 6, 7, 8 months from when they discovered the asteroid to when they launched the mission, and at that time, it was too far-fetched to teach the astronauts how to drill. However, in basically a week, they teach the drillers, some of which have some serious other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve Buscemi, you may give him a pass because he's in the movie is reported to be a real genius, right?
Right.
And then you could maybe go Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck. They're supposed to be the stars, but like the rest of that cast, like Max, like the dude from like Herman's Head, I don't know if you remember that show.
Yeah.
Like really, Owen Wilson. Come on, that's one of Owen Wilson's first roles. Like Owen Wilson didn't even get to make it to the asteroid.
No.
Okay. They can learn to be astronauts, even if it's just like all you gotta do is drill. I remember, and I hate to bring up a sad example, but you remember, we both remember the Challenger when the teacher was on the Challenger mission, right? And all she was going to do was basically ride, and they still had her in training for months. So those things are just like, yeah, but I get you. That was the other big thing. Armageddon is also the ones, not that I am a physicist, but when any type of hardcore scientists point out movies that completely get space wrong, Armageddon, by the fact that they kind of just hang a left. Oh yeah, there's the asteroid. Turn right here. When that's not how navigation
there's like
in space works.
signs all over.
Yeah. That's not how. That's not how navigation in space works. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. What do you got? You got a couple more?
Got a couple more. I go quick through a couple of these. So Toy Story 1. So Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 1. Remember, until the end of the movie, he believes he's real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why does he freeze when Andy comes in the room?
That is a great question, Brian.
Unless that's just how toys, again, back to Bruce Willis, maybe they don't have any control of it, but he does. He freezes whenever Andy or anyone comes in the room. Next up, then these are kind of my favorite ones. These are ones I'll talk a little bit more about, but just because these are some of my favorite movies. And I threw a little shade at Star Wars, so I got to throw a little shade at Batman. So The Dark Knight Rises, there's 2 issues here. Both of them come at the tail end of the movie. Number one, well, there's several. Several. Like
there's a couple big ones.
Yeah, like one of the ones that I kind of let go is it's supposed to be so hard for anybody to get into Gotham after they do the no man's land thing and they blow up the bridges. But Bruce, after major spinal injury, just kind of waltzes in. and
Yeah.
they're very vague about where the pit is. Like
I mean,
on one
it
hand,
had
you
to be
think
right
the
outside of
pit,
Gotham.
yeah, on one hand it makes out the pit is in the Middle East, right? But
Yeah.
then because there are warlords in the desert and Ra's al Ghul and all the things, or it's like in Jersey. Like where the hell's the pit?
I mean,
You
Jersey
know,
sounds good to
yeah,
me, I guess.
right. And the officer, well, Jersey and the pit might be the same. The people that lived underground for all those weeks and months, like the cops. But here are the two big ones. When Batman basically, now he is Batman. He survives the nuclear explosion at the end of it because he just flies off into the river or the lake or the ocean, but doesn't really get that far from the explosion. But there's no worse for wear.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we go to the scene with Alfred where he's having a cocktail in France, and we see Bruce and Catwoman at a restaurant, and primarily Bruce Wayne, who is a billionaire, world famous, famously died. They had this large funeral about him. No one notices that it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Now, the alternate theory is that is Alfred's wish, that it doesn't actually happen.
That could be. I can see
So
that.
that's the only that's one fan theory that maybe gets like maybe he really is dead, and that's just what he wished he would see was Bruce and Selena there. But you know, we have that. All right, Back to the Future, sir. So Brad, if you were visited, well, let's put this, Brad, if you went back in time and you were hanging out with your parents, looking the way you do now, at some point when you look the way you do now, wouldn't your parents remember that?
You would think so.
So
Deja vu for sure.
Yeah. So this is one that's been pretty standard. I think we probably heard this both of this before, but it's pretty accurate that the person that they named their child after, once their child begins to look that way, especially if I'm dad, I like,
You know, you reminded me of somebody, son.
You know, the guy that, you know, strangely, like the guy that my wife went to the prom with originally, and she had the major hots for, you look just like him.
Yeah.
Play the guitar, all the things. Like, that would have turned into a Maury moment, for real.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. One that actually a friend of mine pointed me out, because I love the Shawshank Redemption so much, the poster. Which had Andy Dufresne. Number one, if you look at the size of the poster, that hole ain't that big, probably isn't big enough for a full-grown human, much less, Andy Dufresne's a decent-sized, tall guy, Tim Robbins, but also, how on earth did he get the poster back up there?
Yeah. Yeah.
My last two, this one you reminded me of, Karate Kid with the crane kick. So Bradley, what's an illegal move? Not only in generally in martial arts fighting, but they explicitly stated it in the movie.
Yeah.
What is an illegal, which is a strike to the head? Bradley, in the final moments where they're screaming, "Finish him!" What does Daniel kick? Billy Zabka. Where's the kick, Johnny?
In the face with the crane kick, Brian.
Yes, and your face is on your head.
Yeah.
In fact, it was such a big faux pas that it's been a central point in Cobra Kai, which makes me love Cobra Kai that much more.
Yeah, I think new season should be coming soon, and we're getting a new Karate Kid movie at the end of the year. So.
Yes. And then my final
with
one.
With Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. And, God willing, William Zabka. Because he is the real Karate Kid.
And Jaden Smith.
Right. Yeah.
And then my last one for you, sir, and this is one that comes up a lot, but this to me is the biggest plot hole in the history of major movies. Lord of the Ring, and that's why the S stands for Eagles. Return of the King, the Eagles show up to save them as Mount Doom is imploding upon itself. In the books, they're walking for years, plural. Gandalf calls the Eagles on more than one occasion, including to save his own butt.
didn't think you'd ride him to Mordor.
Why not just ride him the entire way?
Just hey, let's not burn the calories. We're not trying to get our steps in today. Let's just take a ride.
I guess he really did believe you shall not pass or you shall not ride.
Why did the fellowship only have to be 9?
Yes.
Like, why?
Yes.
Is there a reason why that number is important to it?
Right.
I honestly want to know.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the most diverse fellowship in the world, so.
Yeah, I mean, like a bunch of hobbits. I mean, you only like 3 of them count for what, 1? I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah, it's very true. So again, those are mine. So Bradley, give me some of yours.
I got a couple more to add to that.
Right,
I want to go back to the Future.
Yes.
Okay, you have multiple DeLoreans because of timey-wimey stuff.
Yep.
Why didn't Marty bring gas back to 1883 or 1885? Yeah. In Back to the Future 2, why did he have to go to 2015? Why couldn't they just fix the things before that? Like, hey, Marty, if you don't do this in 2007, this is gonna happen. We need to put your Marty, mini Marty in karate or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why didn't anyone notice that Jennifer looked completely different?
Right.
Mom, you've changed. Okay, they didn't notice the memory of anyone. Okay, they didn't notice that their best friend, mentor, crush in high school, their kid grows up look exactly like him. He didn't notice that the girl he leaves on the porch looks completely different after he picks it up back from the porch the next movie.
Yeah, it's true. All right, The Quiet Place. Why didn't they just move into behind the waterfall? The monsters couldn't go through the waterfall.
Yep.
Why didn't they just live over there? Natural sound. All right. My final one is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. There's probably a few of them. I mean, in Indiana, especially in Raiders of the Lost Ark. But the one that I wanted to highlight is the ending of Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
The time travel. You had the perfect ending for Indiana Jones. Leave him in the past. Let him find his own stuff. Sure. Which they kind of did, but then they like kind of retcon that right away. And then you take him back to the future. He wakes up like, slept for like 2,000 years. Yeah, I mean, man, just that ending left a big plot hole.
One of the ones I was almost going to mention, because again, I tried to pick on some of my favorite movies. My second favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie is Signs. And if you're the aliens in Signs, and if you've seen Signs, water is like acid to them. It burns their skin. That's actually how we wind up taking the planet back. If water is so damaging to your race, why would you land on a planet that is mostly water?
That's a good question, Brian. I didn't think
they have the ability to travel to, I'm assuming, multiple planets.
Yeah.
And assuming that since their planet can contain life and our planet can contain life, I doubt the universe stopped at only 2. Why is the one you travel to, you pick? They didn't crash land. You pick the one with water. And speaking of that, I don't know if you caught this, Bradley, but Resident Alien is now on Netflix, and I began binging Resident Alien on Netflix, and it is Alan Tudyk is phenomenal.
Resident Alien was both of our show of the year 2 years ago.
Yes, it
I
was.
believe. Yeah,
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And I don't think I finished watching season 2. I don't think I got through
I didn't either. I started over because I want to catch up on
nice,
all of it.
Very nice.
Absolutely, my friend.
Awesome. Well,
right,
there we go. There it is. There's our movie plot holes. If you know some, let us know. Let's talk about them. All right, Brian. We're going to play a little bit of game. Last time I played it with you. This time you're playing with me, and here we go. All right. What do you got for me?
Now, before we play the game, I have one last thing on a plot hole for you,
Oh.
sir. And I think you will love this. So, looking at the different movies, and Marvel is always thrown to the carpet of some breaks in logic. And I was sitting back thinking about Endgame, because there's various pieces of Endgame that sometimes don't hold water, especially all the things they do with Captain America. But two really struck out to me that I just want to get your mindset on. So one is Captain America going back in time, and this is the thing, because time travel always gets weird about how it works from a logic standpoint, okay? But if you think about it, even if you let all the other Captain America stuff go, when he goes back, remember the whole plot of the reason he goes back in time is to undo them going back and taking the Infinity Stones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brad,
put them back. Put the Infinity Stones back.
Yeah, put them back. Brad, he can't do that. And what I mean by that is he's supposed to put the stones back the way that they were. Other than the time stone, the power stone was taken out of the Jane Foster character. I'm sorry, the reality stone. The reality stone, the ether, was taken out of Jane Foster. Do they have a plan of getting it back into her? Multiple stones.
I mean, I think he's got a plan to get it in there. You know what I mean?
You know, we're going nerd deep. Multiple stones were in different forms. So the space stone, the Tesseract was inside the Tesseract. The Mind Stone was inside the gem on the staff, and the Power Stone from Guardians of the Galaxy is in that orb. So how does he put them back in the original containers? And how the hell does he take the Soul Stone back?
Also, in going back to put all these back, doesn't that just make things happen the way that they did, or is everything that happened now a new reality that the TVR, which is just more of a head scratcher too?
And then the final thing is, Bradley, this is a question for you. So watching Infinity War and Endgame, and understand that the way that the heroes win is the one reality that Doctor Strange picks. Who would you say is the hero of Endgame, of the War for Earth, who actually is responsible for the defeat of Thanos and his army? What character would you say is responsible for, and I'm going to make a quick bet for you, sir. Whatever character you name, I bet you're wrong.
Doctor Strange.
Incorrect. I'll give you two more guesses.
Let's say Peter Quill.
Incorrect. And I'll tell you why. You got one more guess, my friend.
Spider-Man.
Incorrect. It is a rat. And here is why.
Oh, yes.
The entire reason that they're able to do anything is Scott Lang comes back from the Quantumverse, and the reason that Scott Lang comes back from the Quantumverse is that rat that runs across the wires and brings him out. Had that rat not done this, nothing else happens that leads to the victory. So I named the rat Splinter, and he, and if you want to drive some of the Ninja Turtles, he becomes the hero of Earth. And in my brain, he's going to find, 4 little turtles, and they're going to hang out together in the ooze. But that, truthfully, is the hero of Earth. The
Very
rat.
good.
So, Tony Stark, sorry, sir. But not you at all.
You.
All right.
I love you 3000. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now we can get to the supporting cast game,
let's
sir.
do the supporting cast. Let's do some guess the movie.
Okay. All right. So, here we go. So, what I got 5 cast members. I'm going to give you one at a time and see if you can guess the movie. Is that work for you, sir?
All right. I got 3 questions, correct?
You have 3 questions. You can throw whenever you want to, all right?
Okay.
The first person I'm mentioning, Yvonne Zima.
Yvonne Zima. Oh, my gosh. I don't even... I don't even.
Have you ever
can't even
seen?
think of the
You ever seen
actress.
the show The Nanny? I'll give you a hint. You ever seen the show The Nanny?
Yeah.
She plays the youngest daughter in The Nanny. That is Yvonne
Okay.
Zima. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Give me number 2.
David Morse,
Ooh. David Morse.
who was also in Shawshank as the big guard. Brutal. Just trying to give you
Okay.
some faces here.
KK. All right. We're gonna have to keep going.
Craig Bierko.
Craig Bierko. Dude. Craig Bierko. All right. Is this a superhero movie?
No.
Okay. All right. Give me number 4.
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. Okay. Gina Davis. Cutthroat Island?
No, sir.
A League of Their Own. A League of Their Own.
No.
Ooh. All right. All right. Give me one more.
Samuel L. Jackson.
The Long Kiss Goodnight.
The Long Kiss Goodnight. I got one more for you, sir.
All right.
Sir.
All right.
All right. Jeff Goldblum.
Yes. Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
All right. All right. So we're starting over with the new movie,
Yeah,
right?
this is a new one. This is new. So you still got 3 questions. Okay.
Okay.
So first actor is Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. And he's a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
Was this made in the last 10 years?
No.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
B.D. Wong.
Are we talking about Jurassic Park?
Ding, 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 ding.
Nice. Very good.
The
Dude.
remaining were going to be Wayne Knight, Sam Neill, and of course, Samuel Jackson. All right, sir.
Very good, man. That was awesome. Good job. All right. I will have one for you next week.
All right, my brother.
Before we talk about what we're going to do next week, which I guess would probably be Elimination Chamber, won't it?
It will be.
So we need to talk. There was some big casting news that came out recently about something that we've been talking about for a bit.
Before we go there, can I give you I've still got an honest ad, but can I give you my Betterness Human of the Week to see if we're on the same wavelength, sir?
Okay, do it.
This week, my Betterness Human of the Week is a man who we know from Game of Thrones as the Sand Viper. We know from Mandalorian as Mando. We know as Joel from The Last of Us. And now it is official. He will be Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic. The one, the only. He may be the 5th face on our Mount Rushmore if he keeps this up.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Oh, man. I am very much looking forward to this.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
The casting was great.
He's my favorite human of the week as well. And Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm.
Yes.
And you were talking about Stranger Things earlier. We got Joseph Quinn, and I'm gonna so screw up the thing's name, but he's the first Jewish actor to play Ben Grimm. So, awesome.
And if you know anything about the history of it, it is actually that Ben Grimm is a Jewish American. So actually having that be part of it is actually really, really important and fantastic.
Especially
no pun intended that they're taking that seriously. So that is really, really cool that they have done that. So I mean, just generally, and it's running through the cast again. So we have when looking at the 2025, we've got Pedro Pascal, playing Reed Richards. We got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Yvonne Moss Bachrach, I believe, as I'm saying his name correctly. Again, we're playing Ben Grimm, fantastic. And we're still waiting on the casting of Alicia Masters, Doctor Doom. So
Dr. Doom's got to be Henry Cavill, because he came out and said that they're going to make an announcement soon.
Okay.
And that he has signed on to a Marvel project. So, and they've just, I don't know, to me, this makes sense. They just released the main 4. Wouldn't it be really cool if Henry Cavill was going to be the big bad for Marvel?
Yes.
Because Doctor Doom is the best villain,
and they have to go with a new one. There was it was mixed reactions to what they were doing, with Kang. Kang, I think, would have been good, but I'm still not sold on making Kang the big. It was gonna be how they did Kang as the big bad and some of those things, versus Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is, honestly, in you look at Marvel Comics, he's actually a bigger big bad, at least a more consistent big bad than Thanos. Thanos is such a part of a incredible storyline, but when you look at the ins and outs of who's really who you see weaved into so many different, he's fought with every major Marvel character, the X-Men, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, all these individuals, the Avengers, as well as right up there with Professor X with his brilliance, all those things, has a great backstory, drifts sometimes an anti-hero spaces as well, complicated. I think this is fantastic. So yeah, especially if you get someone the caliber of Henry Cavill, I'm not gonna lie, in my fan casting, it'll always be Keanu Reeves. But just whoever they get, as long as they can carry the chops. And Brad, this is what you and I think we're both excited for. I think we're finally, fingers crossed, I think we're finally set up for a good Fantastic Four movie.
100%. I can't wait for more information about that. All right, Brian. Where can we find you, buddy?
Well, before we close up, can I give you my honest ad?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so here we go. So while Bradley and I decided we were going to fill some holes by talking about plot holes, we do know this past Wednesday was Valentine's Day. So in spirit of the week, here's my honest ad for Valentine's. From Revenge of the Nerds. Roses are red, violets are blue. Valentine's Day is back to deeply depress you. While some get flowers, candy, and cards, for others your heart is broken into a million lonely shards. No hugs, no kisses, not even Netflix and chill. All you have is that damn DoorDash bill. At the end of the day, don't be sad, angry, or mad, because love from your fellow nerds will never go bad. Buck up, put on a smile, and don't dare drop your head. You can still have a date with that box under the bed.
Well done.
Happy Valentine's Day from your buddies Bad and Brian with Revenge of the Nerds.
Awesome. Where can we get chat?
All right, you can always find me on the Book of Faces at Brian Stephen Dennis. Give me a like, give me a follow. I try and keep it funny and occasionally weird.
Absolutely. If you want to, you can tweet at me at Fandepic3. I'm not going to answer that, just to be real. I never.
Every week you throw it out and you don't ever answer. Like, stop it.
Just need to delete it from my template. If you want to get a hold of me, try me on Facebook or TikTok at the Fandemic or Fandemic1. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thefandemic. Find us on Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN. Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-venge producer like Stacy, or you can be part of the con. Yes, the Council of Nerds, starting at around $5 a month. I'm also retooling that, and more to come on that later. If you just want to give me money, I'm not going to say no. PayPal or Venmo me at Bradley Butin, or just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. All right, Brian, we have hit max levels of awesome tonight. Let's end the show like we do every week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all of you in the Prevent world and universe, thank you for joining us. And that was Bury the Needle on Awesomeness. This is always our favorite part of our week, good boys and girls. So with that being said, please remember that no retreat and no surrender. And Goonies, never say die.
Friendship is like peeing on yourself. Everyone can see it, but only you get the warm feeling that it brings. A diamond is merely a lump of coal that did well under pressure. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. Squirrels' cheeks are their nut sacks. And our truth. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.